Back in November, the Falcons lost their first matchup against the Buccaneers. Can Tampa Bay sweep the series? Find out next on Madden Football.
DA Sports coverage of the NFL has us on the west coast of the Sunshine State. Downtown Tampa's the spot, Raymond James Stadium. Just a short time ago, the Buccaneers emerging from their tunnel to the roar of this frenzied crowd here in the Sunshine State. And we're in the big ship, and fittingly, everyone here ready to do battle as Tampa Bay gets ready to match up with the Atlanta Falcons. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
Here's the punter, Bradley Pinion, on to get us started. And off we go from Tampa. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. So here come the Falcons now to get the football for the first time. And a look here at their go-to guy under center.
You talk about the pause that refreshes. I think it's come at a perfect time of the year for them, hasn't it? You know, the season is starting to wind down, got a little bit of a break. But how about the guy calling the signals? He's got to be excited about that because now he didn't just get a game plan for 1 week. He was able to work on it for 2 weeks. I can't wait to see if they have anything special in store for him today.
And he finds some space past the 25 to the 27. 5 yards on the game's first play, second down. And he'll give it here to his running back. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. With that last effort, he topples the 5,000-yard mark for his career.
And that doesn't place you among the absolute greats that have ever played the game. But it's a significant achievement and a very, very solid career.
And they'll run on the inside handoff. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47. And, Charles, you look at this defense. They were a very loose group coming into the week, knowing they kind of had the upper hand going into this one, taking on a team that hasn't won in a month and a half.
And that works well for you if you establish your dominance early in the game against a team that's struggling. But if somehow they fashion some plays together early, knock them back on their heels, that looseness can be used against them. Then they're trying to scramble to make sure they get their game right.
So from Buccaneer territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 46. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Man open, that's Calvin Ridley. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down. Ahead of the chains now, 2nd and 2. And a give this time to the tailback. Fighting through, and he gets it down to the 32. Now after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll work this forward for about 3 and second down. Well, these two teams, they met in Tampa earlier in the year with the Bucs prevailing in that one. So if they can win here in Tampa, they'd be able to claim the season sweep. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Here's a handoff out of the gun. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. Well, this defense for the Buccaneers, they were very strong last week in that win over Cleveland.
I have to admit, I was extremely impressed by what I saw on tape because they stayed in the face of the quarterback the entire game, ended up getting 4 sacks total, and made it difficult for him to step up and find receivers downfield. Also made it hard for him to escape the pocket and run.
So out now comes the field goal unit for the Falcons. This one from 46 yards out. And his kick is absolutely perfect. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. So out come the Bucs now for their first drive. And leading them, Charles, their quarterback, their field general.
And he's had such a sensational season to this point, leading the NFL in passing yards. He's been helped out a lot by an outstanding set of receivers, and he's quick to give them credit. But I think even they would tell you that he's the guy that makes this offense go.
On first down, it's Warner, and not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
He was well over 100 yards last week. He told us this week, a little ambitious, said he wants to hit that 200 mark. We'll see.
Makes sense, though, doesn't it? Have we ever run into a running back that had a great game the week before that didn't think that's just going to naturally continue? Just make sure you feed me the football. And that's what they're all about. Continuity, rhythm, number of carries. Just keep giving it to them.
9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field in the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling, and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance.
These two division rivals, a couple of late games on the schedule this year. Their first meeting, you might remember, was back in Week 10, and it was the visiting Bucs who came away victorious, so they'll look to claim the season series with a win here in Tampa. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. 7 yards, the pickup there. This offense, Charles, we've talked about how well they played all season, sitting now at 13-0 and the finish line for a perfect regular season. That's in sight. Some in the media this week were pointing back to the 07 Patriots. Of course, remember, they finished the regular season unbeaten, but they were tested multiple times in that final month plus.
Yeah, it was something like 4 of their last 6 wins were one-possession games, and they played like a team that was trying to protect something instead of chasing something. And that's what happens when you have an undefeated record. So it behooves you as a team, get a couple blowouts in there so you get a chance to relax and breathe. But that's much easier said than done.
On third down, it's Warner. And the athleticism on the spin move allows him to pick up the first before he's brought down. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation? We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game, and it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early.
They'll run on first down. Good. And a missed tackle there as he pushes forward for a gain of 4. Not a whole lot there. The defense was ready, it looked, for that run-pass option.
You get the sense that next time he has that opportunity, He may keep it himself and get to the perimeter. Probably owes his back a little bit of an apology on that one, huh?
Here's a throw out wide, complete to his running back right side. And he'll be out of bounds, able to get it down to the 25 there. So, Charles, first drive here, little safe completion underneath, maybe get some rhythm, get your feet wet, so to speak.
I agree, and I like it because it's a lot like a basketball game when you're getting started and you pass the ball around so everyone touches it early and gets involved in the game. In this case, it's not just dumping it to a back and he's able to run with the ball, but you get your offensive linemen involved because they...
Godwin's got it. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Chris Godwin hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Bucs have taken the lead. And now, of course, all scoring plays are reviewed, and I think they're going to take an extra long look at this one. They're taking a peek at whether or not those feet were in bounds, and obviously a big call here in the end zone.
And not just the feet. How about the hands? How's the ball possessed while the feet are hopefully getting down in bounds? That's what they're trying to look at to see if it all comes together.
So they called it a touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right. Point after, right down the middle, and that makes it a 7-3 lead. Now Pinion with the kickoff honors following the touchdown. Take it in at the 3. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. Falcons offense making their way onto the field. Let's take a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. So, Charles, the season winding down, the playoffs obviously not in their future. As they look ahead to the offseason, what spots do they maybe need to fill?
Well, I think that they like the guy who's calling the plays and throwing the ball. I think that he's a pretty good player. Needs some help, I think, on the perimeter, though. Help him out with receivers, because I think if he gets an upgrade there, his play gets that much better, too.
Pressure gets to him, and down he goes. Back at the 4-yard line. Vita Vea, what a season he continues to have. His 15th sack of the campaign. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
And he's able to get this one up to the 8-yard line this time. It'll be a gain of 5, and the punt team will now come out on 4th down. Here's J.K. Scott now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. Returnable here from the 38. Yeah, he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. An excellent return that time, 26 yards. And the Buccaneer offense will be set up well as they take over. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. On 1st down, Warner, with a juke. And they can't bring him down.
Good job, good job.
After 7-3 the score on EA Sports. Second quarter now in Tampa Bay. It's the Buccaneers in control of the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Escaping the pressure right. Open man is Howard, the tight end. 5 yards on the catch there. Brings up 2nd down. He was out there waving his arms, and when you got a quarterback out of the pocket looking for any help, I guess waving the arms is helpful.
It certainly is, because you've got to get his attention, because now you're in scramble drill. So everyone's adjusting their routes, finding open space, and he found the right spot for the completion.
And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. and you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
And he's got his tight end, Howard. It's a Buccaneer touchdown. O.J. Howard, his 14th touchdown now on the year as the Buccaneers tack on to their lead.
You get down near the goal line, this is where having a sure-handed tight end becomes a luxury, and it pays off big time, especially when the defense sells out against the run. He finds himself open for an easy touchdown.
Extra point right down the middle, and that pushes the lead up to 11. 5 plays there on that drive, and it ends with a touchdown for the Bucs. And following the touchdown now, it's Bradley Pinion on to kick this one away. Fielded just outside the goal line. And a nice job there on special teams to limit him to inside the 15 as he's dropped at the 14. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. Now this one to his tight end out on the right side, and they're able to get this one across the 35.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little game. And he will find Ridley. That's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
That was a fun one to watch right there. A nice in-breaking route and plenty of room in the middle of the field. And he was able to get behind the linebackers and grab the completion for a really good pickup.
Now here's a throw right side taken in by his tight end. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
5 yards remain on second down. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll be brought down at about the 42. It'll be a pickup of a couple, and it leaves him with a 3rd and 3. Back to throw here. And a big loss here as he's taken down. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
I thought there at the end he may have had a chance to release that, but that pocket closed a little too quickly and down he went.
Yeah, he was certainly trying to do everything he could to extend the life of the play, probably counting in his head 1, 2, and then he ran out of time.
Here's J.K. Scott now as he'll punt it away for the second time. It'll wind up just a 35-yard punt, no return, and the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. And Tampa Bay trots out there now.
And they, if you just look at this game, Charles, on paper, they've got the edge, no doubt. They're hanging around the top of the NFC. On the other side, you got a squad that's towards the bottom of the NFC. But when we mentioned that to the coaches, they were having no part of it.
Yeah, and I like how you said when we mentioned it. In fact, I mentioned it, and I upset them a little bit, didn't I? Because they wanted no part of that one, and I was reminded, like a 5-year-old, this is the NFL. Any given Sunday, anything can happen. They are guarding against the upset.
Here we go on 2nd and 12. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And a costly turnover there as the ball will be spotted 1st and goal at the 5-yard line. And the Falcons say they have it. They do. We know he's got the speed to get downfield, Charles, but there's the negative side. A little loose with the football that time.
And that's normal, especially when you have his type of talents, because you feel like you're into the open field and maybe you don't feel the people who are around you or closing in. All quarterbacks have to do extra ball security drills with the way the game's played now, because defenses, they attack the football as much as they attack the runner.
2nd and goal from inside the 5. From the gun, he'll hand this off. And he's going to press this one forward as they stop him right around the 1. Give him right around 4 on the carry. We'll see if they want to keep pounding here on 3rd and goal. So now things get interesting on 3rd and goal from the 1.
This almost becomes a Darwinian call, doesn't it? Almost survival of the fittest here. I know we can go all cliche.
In trouble, and he'll go down back at the 12. Joe Tryon able to get him down for a loss of 11. And it brings up 4th down.
That's 3 sacks now. That's not much of a surprise to me, nor should it be to you. This team, they lead the league in sacks.
Yeah, they do. This is something that we are starting to witness time and time again. So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. And his kick is good. And a 2nd field goal here cuts their deficit to 14-6 now. So they recovered the fumble, but ultimately could not take advantage of the short field.
Definitely a lost opportunity right there. I mean, they were in prime position to put 6 on the board. Ended up settling for 3.
And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. Here comes the Tampa Bay offense now heading back out onto the field. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal? And they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive. A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach will be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield, punching the end zone without turning it over.
49 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll send you cross-state to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have all the stats and all the scores from games going on during another busy Sunday in the National Football League. And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? And incomplete, he dropped it. Maybe a rookie mistake there, 2nd down.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off at the 48, past the 20. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Falcon defense has a touchdown.
We constantly talk about defenders having great vision and being able to see plays unfold and make their own plays. But you also have to have good feel as well, because you can't see everything out there. See the play unfold, feel what's going on, and then get to the right spot and make your own play. And in this case, it turned out to be a highlight one.
From the 6. And he won't quite make it to the 25.
Let's go! Let's go!
Now on the return here, we've got an injured player down there. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. After the pick 6, they go right back to the air. That is caught. It's Chris Godwin. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart, because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. He finds Allison. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. And they're going to hurry back to the line now. They'll run on 1st down. Good. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. And in for the Buccaneers touchdown. Chris Godwin with touchdown number 2 in the game, and now 11 on the year. And the Buccaneers here finding a way to stretch their lead. Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead is up to 8. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it's all finished off with a touchdown by Tampa Bay. Now Pinion with the kickoff honors following the touchdown. Fielded just outside the goal line. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And with him trailing, there is still enough time to try to string a few plays together, maybe get in the field goal range. And he's out of bounds, able to take this one up to the 35. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the 1st down completion.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch. On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. Gets past one man. And he's got the 1st down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes in bounds. Again, he'll drop to throw. And he's got him. Got his man on the end route. Complete. And he's going to have a 1st down here as they're also into field goal range at the 28. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. Back to throw again. And that throw behind his man, he missed him, incomplete.
They've given up a few 1st downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. They'll look to throw again. Finding a safety valve here, that's complete. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the 1st half. So 3 seconds here remain in the half on as the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. From the right hash, this from 44 yards out. And his kick here is good. And that will do it for this first. We now proceed to the start of the 2nd half. So we've hit halftime here in Tampa with the Bucs out in front. All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
Let's go.
The attention shifting back to Chris Godwin and the rest of the Tampa offense. And the previous drive put him up over 1,000 yards for the season. So now it's what you like to refer to, my friend, as gravy time, right?
It is. I mean, he's done it, right? He's accomplished the goal. So the good players, they relax a little. They bask in it. They think this is, okay, we've done what we set out to do. The great players decide to push that number as high as they possibly can. I don't expect him to have any let-up in his game the rest of the way.
Great thing if you're on the opposite side. He's such a weapon. He just opens things up for the other guy. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, and that could have been trouble. It's a gain of 34. So they escape, so to speak, maintaining the football. Defensively, though, opportunity miss.
It definitely was, because that's all defenses talk about. Getting the football and either advancing it the other way or just getting possession and turning it over to their offense. That can be a little bit deflating. You're exactly right. A lost opportunity.
This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here, because they are playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Open space inside the 10. And all the way to the 2-yard line there before crossing over out of bounds. 82 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here.
Most of their damage has been done through the air. I mean, they've rung the bell 3 times with passing touchdowns, but guess what? Ground game has not been neglected. Nice little burst right there.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Buccaneers. A great effort there. Touchdown number 15 of the year. And the Buccaneers take the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. Point after, right down the middle. And it gives his guys a 12-point advantage. So the drive there took 6 plays. And it's culminated by a 2-yard touchdown run. And following the touchdown now, it's Bradley Pinion on to kick this one away. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he's up past... to the 22-yard line. So we get set to start this 3rd quarter. Here's the Falcons offense now. And their deficit a little wider than it was at halftime. Does that touchdown a minute ago change the thinking here at all?
I think it does, at least a little bit, because now urgency has to start setting in. You can't go out there and go 3 and out and run the risk of falling behind substantially, but you have to do it without pressing, because pressing, that'll lead you into bigger errors.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. And they give this time to the tailback. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. 3rd down, now even tougher. 3rd and 13 after that loss of a yard.
I see a shake of the head as he gets up, and you've got to imagine he's thinking, guys, you got to help me out. He's hoping his team can read his thoughts, because he definitely needs some assistance.
And that's going to wind up incomplete. Nearly their first pick of the game, but it does bring up 4th down. On is the punter Scott here as he gets this one away. Taken from just outside the 30. It'll be a 47-yard punt with a net of 40 following a 7-yard return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's had a good performance, moved the ball effectively on the ground. Of course, he has the one touchdown.
And when you're able to move it as effectively as you've described, that leads to finding a way into the end zone, and now he's just trying to do it for a second time. And, of course, with that comes additional yardage.
Yeah, looking for additional yardage, and again, that second score here in the third quarter.
Playing against a 3-4 front is really challenging for offensive linemen because they can do so many different things. But when you're running the football, if you can handle the nose tackle up front, and then maybe a guard can slide up to the second level and block a linebacker, that's when you have success running the football.
And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out.
Yeah, another good run there. He's been such a big part of their success here this afternoon. And that last carry, it puts him over 100 yards now for the day.
On first down. Good. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30.
That's pretty much meat and potatoes right there, wasn't it? Just go right at him and let your big horse charge up the middle. Not too fancy there, was it?
Nothing fancy at all, challenging that defense. And on that go-around, the offense won the challenge. Meanwhile, the throw here is complete. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. It's another 10 yards on that one and another first down. That catch for his career is number 589, so 11 away from 600, but it also right now ties him with Hall of Famer Fred Biletnikoff.
And we remember Fred Biletnikoff well because of the way he went about his business in catching the football. And we're seeing something similar here. Someone who runs precise routes, has excellent hands, and knows how to get the ball to the end zone. Let's give this defense some credit now. They let the guys get downfield, but when push came to shove, they stood their ground, and now they'll likely force a field goal attempt.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. Left side here, that's complete to Godwin. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
A nice display of power, but it only takes him to the 7. He's dropped there.
Charles, when you talk about free safeties, I think one word comes to mind, range. And we saw an example of a rangy free safety right there.
The line of scrimmage, the 7 now on 2nd and goal. They'll try the left side. It's Warner. And he's into the end zone for a Tampa Bay touchdown. A great play there. His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Bucs are going to add on to their lead.
Well, fair to say they've got something here in this rookie running back, and he's in for the 2nd time in the ballgame.
And, Brandon, it's a position where there's often a lot of turnover, a lot of competition at that spot. But he's proven to them that he wants to be the bell-cow guy that his franchise can rely on.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
Taking it about the 1.
The lane opens here. He's past the 30.
Well, the Falcons back out, getting set for this next drive.
And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
Now a throw here, hauled in. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
I know I spend a lot of time talking about how tight ends in a lot of cases now are pumped up wide receivers, but they're still big people. He used that frame right there to absorb a really big hit on him and held on to the ball.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at second down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. They'll set up a throw. Airing it out, looking for Ridley. And unable to connect, incomplete. I'll give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
As his old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out high. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. And this will be out of bounds at the what here? The 12-yard line. Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. A solid first half for him, and so far a good start to the second half.
And I'm going to try not to go overboard with praise here, but I can't help it. He is playing so well. Really accurate with the ball, finding guys open downfield, and finding the end zone 3 times. That'll help offset the 1 interception.
Absolutely. Just that 1 pick with the 3 touchdowns so far.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there.
One of my old teammates called me the other day when he was watching the game. He's like, man, trying to watch an NFL game and trying to account for their passing game, that's difficult. And just when you think you get everything covered, here comes a back out of the backfield. And in this case, he puts up a 1st down.
Unable to corral him, he fights through. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44.
134 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
We're off to the 4th quarter here in Week 15. Happy holidays to all. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
A quick throw caught by Evans out wide.
5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense. Now, that was a whole lot of open space out in front of it, wasn't it? I'm telling you, Brandon, when things are going right, they are going right.
And everything has been going their way for the most part. I saw that lane start to develop. Boom. He took advantage of it. They'll run on 1st down. It's Warner, and maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter.
And this is going to be intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off.
And the Falcons are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down.
2nd and 10.
He'll drop to throw. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of bounds. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard. They'll drop to throw. Pryor has it complete. And he is going to have a Falcons first down, and he'll have it by plenty as they're able to keep the drive alive on 3rd and inches. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Now a man open down the middle of the field. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35.
Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.
Now a throw downfield is taken in by his running back. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. And Charles. I'm told that puts him over 3,000 yards passing now on the campaign.
And Brandon, nowadays your leader's usually closer to 5,000 yards on the year, but still, 3,000 yards, a good season.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. 63 yards for him on the ground now on 18 carries.
Some big plays in the passing game on this drive, and here's one out of the running game. So the passing game loosening things up. Now there's room to roam.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. A great effort there. With a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Falcons have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th. Extra point right down the middle. And they're able to cut this deficit down to 12. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This one taken just inside the 10. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. With the Bucs offense making their way back out on the field, let's take a look at the playoff picture, Charles, coming into the weekend in the NFC. And for them, it's no longer a question of will they make the playoffs. They've clinched the division title. The question, can they hold on to that number 1 seed?
And this is where the mental fortitude comes to play, doesn't it? Because now you're not just the coach talking about it, his team talking about it to each other, supporting each other, carrying each other along, because having that number 1 seed means everything in the NFL.
It does. So even though the division title's clinched, shouldn't take the foot off the gas.
No, not at all. Play it all the way through, and I think we've seen that in recent years in the NFL. The teams that play and play to win each and every game, they're the ones to deal with in the playoffs.
And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down.
Partner, I like that they're staying aggressive on offense because to me this drive is what is known as a put-away drive. You score here, that might put this one to bed. I like the fact that they're playing with confidence and not playing with fear.
And he'll take this one down to about the 40. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5. He'll look to throw. Toward the sideline. Did he keep the feet in? Yes, he got them both down, says the side judge. And that's good enough for a first down.
And that pickup of a first down, that's going to leave a mark because they really needed to stop them there, didn't they?
So frustrating. Defensively, you're a play away from getting that football back here down late. Tough.
Now they've got to find a way to create a turnover or takeaway. Otherwise, this one will probably get away from them.
2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports.
Let's go.
So it's Buccaneer football as we welcome you back. They've got it first and goal in a game that appears to have already been decided. They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ball game. Another yard would probably put this thing in the books. It's 2nd and 1. They'll try to run this one in. And he's in. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Taking it in from a yard out. And the Bucs add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week. Extra point splits the uprights, and that will make this a 19-point game. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. From a yard or two deep, here comes the return. And he'll be taken down inside the 15. And to make matters worse, the flag is down as well. Well, that holding call set him up with not great field position.
Not at all when you tack on the penalty. With that field position after the return wasn't terrific, it's not a great starting field position as well.
A very costly holding penalty. It backs them up all the way inside their 10 to start this drive. They'll look to throw here on first down. And that would get to be off target and incomplete. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. Now a dump off here complete. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And it'll be 2nd and about a yard. Oh, the Buccaneer pressure too much. Down he goes. The Falcons going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 1:06 left to go in the game. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And that's going to wind up incomplete. Nearly their first pick of the game, but it does bring up 4th down.
This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for them. And after this one's done, you just feel like at the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
And he comes back with one complete. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. That's into the hands of Pitts, the tight end. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Right back to Pitts again. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Falcons going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they get it with just 19 seconds left on the clock. And that is incomplete. Down to 15 seconds now. Defensively, you look at the numbers. Another incomplete passer we just saw, and they're under 200 yards passing for the game, so they've done their job on that side of the ball.
Yeah, recently I was actually working a game where a quarterback had a streak of 5 straight games without a 200-yard game. And that was a big talk, both in his town and amongst his team. How do we get the passing game going? So big credit to them, holding them under 200 today.
A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And
The defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for the Bucs, they move ever closer to the perfect regular season as they run things to 14-0. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the New Orleans Saints. Meanwhile, for the Falcons, they drop their 10th game now to fall to 4.